Guys, welcome back to another kind of Sims 4 episode. We are doing the every room is a different pack challenge. So you can kind of see I built a shell of this house. The first pack I got was Tiny Living, so that's what we're going to use for the living room. I had a lot of fun with this. It was really kind of challenging, but the main thing I wanted to do was stick to the spirit of the pack, just because I know not all the packs have doors or windows or floors or things like that. I didn't like the front door for Tiny Living, so I didn't use it. What I wanted to do too was just use the same color doors and windows so that the house kind of looked cohesive. At this point I really didn't have like a super major idea that I wanted to do with this. I was just trying to look for something. But as I went, I ended up going a bit more traditional in some ways. Like I used the herringbone, like dark wood floor, and those, the wooden stairs and things like that. The area that I'm coloring now is going to be the living room. Originally I was going to have it in that other area, but I didn't like the shape of it, so that's why I went with this one. We do go with kind of jewel tones, that dark blue. I wanted it only for the living room, but it was being difficult, so I just did the whole thing. And then I was trying to find the right kind of door. I wanted a bit of a big showstopper-y door. I thought about doing higher walls, but I didn't like it. I hate when it does to the stairs. Like, they already look weird. They look too short, but it's worse when you make the walls taller. And then, of course, I'm running into wonderful window issues because the door was too big, so I had to go back and choose a smaller door, but still, I like it still. This is the first time I've done kind of a voiceover thing. I wanted to try it out just because I know my videos are kind of long, so I figured why not? Let's do a speed build. Let's just see what happens. I was surprised by how much, because I didn't really know too much about the packs in general. I wouldn't say I use a lot of custom content, but I haven't really focused on building in The Sims 4. And I was pleasantly surprised with a lot of the content. Like, usually, especially in Sims 2, I don't like a lot of the base game stuff, like, at all. Kind of hate it. But yeah, I was not mad at my options here. I'm still new to building, so I couldn't remember what the cheat was for things to not snap to the grid. So hopefully in future builds I'll be able to use that, but I didn't kind of employ that here. I did end up turning move objects on. So I'm using my pretty standard decorating routine here where I pull out everything and then I edit down, because it's really important to me to be able to see everything together and then to kind of pick and choose the pieces I think will work. Later on I do go ahead and do the show all and select all of the items from the pack rather than going individually. I just didn't think about it before. So I'm trying to plan a layout here. I really liked those kind of red couches. It goes with the blue. I really just like rich colors, and I love a diagonal couch. Love it. So I was thinking I was going to put kind of the seating area there. I was kind of concerned about where I was going to fit a TV in, but I just really liked that kind of corner being set up there. And I was just trying to fit everything in a way that made sense. It is kind of an awkward space, just because it's got the wall coming, because there's a basement, so it's got that wall, and I did struggle a little bit with that. But overall I'm really happy with how it turned out. I wasn't really sure about the family that lived here either. I always like to kind of build a story. So I was just like, what kind of family lives here? Are they more of a modern? I wanted to add a couple industrial elements. I wanted to add as much as I could so that in future rooms I could be like, okay, I had industrial elements in this room, so I can add some here just to make it cohesive. One thing that really bothers me with this challenge is when people do all the different rooms and they just don't make sense together, which I understand, like, that's to each his own, that's totally fine, but for me personally, I don't like that. And looking back in this now, I should have just put a wall behind the couch, because I wanted a mirror behind the couch, but I didn't think about it, so I did those. So I might go back and fix that. I am going to put this on the gallery when it's all done. I definitely went for the piano. I'm like, let's just be fancy, right? And at this point I'm thinking, okay, this is probably going to be more of like a formal sitting room rather than a living room. I don't know about you guys, but we always, my parents always have, they still do, like they always had this like formal area that no one really sits in. Not sure what that's about, just like china cabinets full of dishes you don't use, but I mean, I guess that's kind of how they grew up, so for them that's normal, but to me that seems very baffling. I wanted to put that little desk by the stairs, just kind of a little desk area so you can sit and maybe do homework, things like that. I knew this was probably going to be a family with kids, just because I wanted to hedge my bets, because I knew I would get some sort of kid pack eventually. Lots of storage. I really didn't like, oh, I gotta put railing on the stairs, but I didn't like how wide and open the space was, because it just feels a little lost, the center of the room. And this is me trying to stretch the stairs because I hated how narrow they looked. But yeah, it just felt a little odd, so I thought about putting like the over railing stuff. And I realized I would have to add a wall in between, just to separate the room a little bit, because it just seemed so odd, but I didn't really like how it looked. But I ended up leaving the walls there instead. It still counts as the same room, in my opinion, so I left it. So I just wanted to add kind of a little seating area over here too, because zoning is very important. Like in decorating rooms, it's important to kind of differentiate, especially in big open rooms, so that each area kind of feels like its own thing. Sorry about that. I have my sound on because my landlord's supposed to be calling me about a leak in my AC. It bothers me a little bit that the chair is clipping, but I couldn't remember the cheat and I didn't want to open up Firefox just in case, because I know that it messes with recording. Although I've noticed with Sims 4 I can record a lot longer without having like glitch issues like I do with Sims 2. Also, sorry if I'm losing my voice or sound weird. I don't know why, but my throat's really tight. Probably because I'm a bit nervous doing this. Like, I've never really done voiceovers before. It just doesn't feel like authentic and in the moment of my, like, what my thought process was. I was trying to find a rug. I really liked that rug, but it wasn't going there. I really struggled with the rug. I don't like how the rugs in this game are like, you can make them bigger or smaller, but they're just, they don't always fit the rooms. I wish you could actually drag the rugs. Same with the curtains. It would be really nice if you could just kind of drag them to a certain space or a certain size. I did go with yellow, just because we've got the red and the blue, so primary colors go together well enough. And I just wanted like a third sort of color to add in there as like an accent. That table now looks super lost, so I was just like, well, let's move it here. I decided not to go with the blue. I wanted to just do white. And then I needed pictures, which I had no idea really how I was going to go with that. And then I saw that sunflower painting and I knew I had the leaf one. And I just decided, I'm like, well, maybe they collect art. Maybe they're the kind of people that just kind of collect different art pieces. And it fits with the room to have those kind of old-fashioned paintings and like that drawing of a building. Just, I felt like it really went. I was struggling with the leaf paintings though at this point because I just felt like they no longer went with the style of the room. Which is fine. It's important to be able to step back and go, okay, this isn't working, we need to take it out. So yeah, I just gave them kind of a lot of old-fashioned looking still lifes and things like that. Here's where I struggle with the curtains, because curtains are terrible. I just couldn't find anything that was long enough, but that also worked in the space. I finally went for these. I'm not super happy with them, I just don't feel like they're fancy enough, but it is what it is. Yes, I noticed that that curtain was wrong and I fixed it. I wasn't sure what color to do. I liked the red and I liked the blue, but I ended up going with just kind of a neutral tan. It goes with the drawings. You know, there's some browns in the room. Why not? Just adding some additional lighting here. And now my favorite portion, which is clutter. I love adding a lot of clutter. I didn't want to do too much in this room since it was a formal space, so it's not used as much. I really wanted to use the globe, but it didn't work. I also struggled with that table, what to put on there. So I went with your classic quintessential bowl of fruit. So now I needed to decorate this area. I realized I needed to put a door in that space, so I moved the light over. I also didn't like, or I didn't really love that space there. But yeah, we're almost done. I'm just gonna add a few more paintings, and we're pretty much done with the living space. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy these videos, these little speed videos, and I will see you in the next one.